speech. Okay, so the parts of speech, what are they? They're the building blocks of a language. Each part has a job to do in a sentence. Okay, that's important to know and to remember. So let's discuss, I'm going to close my chat box so I can't see if you have questions. Let's discuss the 8 different parts of speech. And I'm going to give you an example for each part of speech, trying to use just one noun or pronoun. I mean, one subject and verb. Okay, so let's start with the 8 that I've mentioned before. So these are the ones we're going to look at today. And you might want to write these down so that you remember the most important parts of speech: noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, conjunction, preposition, and interjection. Are there any there that you've never heard of before? Yes, no, or I know all of these. Any new parts of speech you have not heard about before? You can put it in the chat box. Interjection. Yeah, that one's typically not very common. Okay, so good. So some of you maybe have heard about all of these parts of speech before, but interjection will be a new one. Okay. Yeah, interjection's pretty common. I think once you see an example of an interjection, you'll be like, oh, I know exactly what that is. Okay, so let's start with noun. You guys all know that a noun is a person, place, thing, or an idea, right? Sometimes people forget about the idea part of the noun, but ideas like what you think can also be a noun. So for example, simple. I'm going to try to make this very, very simple today. The umbrella is green and yellow. Umbrella is the noun. It's a thing. Okay. Pronoun. This one's kind of simple because you see the word noun, so you think, oh, it's probably related, connected to the word noun, and you're right. Pro. Pro means for, so it's for the noun, right? It replaces the noun. So we said the umbrella. The pronoun it can replace the noun umbrella because it's a thing. So it is green and yellow. Okay, and then some of the other pronouns: she, we, they, you, and it. Adjectives. These are my favorite parts of speech because adjectives make things more interesting, right? They are the description. They describe the noun. And sometimes we say modify, and modify can mean to change the noun. So when we use the adjective, it gives us more information about the noun, or it changes it. So yelly, yellow, wavy, wavy, like the waves, they go wavy. And sandy, the beach is sandy, are all adjectives. So in my example here, I made it real simple. Colors are adjectives because they describe the umbrella. It is green and yellow. Green and yellow. Adjectives. I'm going to try to open up my chat box. If you guys have questions or you need me to explain anything, put that in the chat box here. Okay, the verb. Now for you guys in English, the verb is always sometimes really one of the first things that's confusing because we have so many different verb forms: past, present, future, perfect, present progressive. But for today, we're keeping it real simple. Just the present verb, right? There's two different ways we use verbs to express an action, like doing something, or the state of being, right? So run is an action verb. State of being, those be verbs, am, is, are, was, were, describes like how you are. So in my example, it is it is green and yellow. The be verb is, right? It's a state of how the umbrella is, what color it is. In the other example, I use an umbrella. What's the verb in that sentence? And you can put it in the chat box. Oh, Isra, it came up in Arabic. Oh, I could learn Arabic in this class too. Yes, use. Use, is that a be verb or an action verb? Is use a be verb or an action verb? Yes, action. Fantastic. It is an action verb. Adverbs. I also like adverbs too, because they make the verb more interesting. Now, everybody knows, or maybe not everybody, but most people know that adverb describes the verb and ends in ly most of the time, but not all the time. So that's a little trick. Not all adverbs end in ly, but we're not going to talk about that today. But the examples that I gave you, lazily, sleepily, restfully, they're all adverbs describing the verb. Adverbs can also, just so you know, describe other adverbs and adjectives. That's when it gets confusing. But again, today's class is just a basic review. We're not getting complicated. So look at my sentence about the umbrella. I usually use an umbrella. Usually is describing when or how often the verb use. So usually is modifying the verb use. I usually use an umbrella. Okay. And I am recording this. So if it feels like this is so fast, I'm going to download it and send you the video so you can look back on it. Okay, preposition. Another part of speech that confuses many, many English language learners because there are hundreds of them. But just remember that a preposition shows the relationship in the sentence, like when and where something happens. So in, on, and through are prepositions, but let's take a look at the example sentence. I'm using the same sentence and just adding more information. So I usually use an umbrella. Where? Where do you use an umbrella? at the beach. So the preposition is at, describing where. Could you guys think of a preposition using that same sentence with when? Or not with when, but using a preposition that shows like time, when. And could you put it in the chat box? And I'll see if I can type it up here. And we'll start with the same. So let's not use yellow. Let's use red. I usually use an umbrella. So think time for this one. So sad that my computer, I have two screens now, and my other screen just shut down, and it's making it really complicated. Anybody want to? Yes. Although, Ian, not in. Okay, good. So instead of saying in Ian, you would say on rainy days. And that's when prepositions get confusing. And there's a lot of tricks to know which preposition to use. I usually use an umbrella on rainy days. And then I think Hassan used the sentence. Let me see what you put. Yeah. I usually, so we're going to use the same sentence, guys, to make it simple. And try to change it though to a when preposition. I usually use an umbrella. When is when preposition? When's more of an adverb. You could say, so Ian said in before. I usually use an umbrella in the morning. That would be a time preposition. I'm asking Siri, is when a preposition? I'm using my phone to. No, when is not a preposition, that's an adverb. So we don't use when as a preposition, Hassan, okay? That's an adverb describing use. Okay, good, Tao. Just can you give me an example using the sentence, I usually use an umbrella? In the morning. I'm trying to think of more time prepositions. Give me some common time prepositions. Anybody have anything? Any other examples they want to use? In, on, by. And at. Oh, good, Fardausa. The preposition, though, in that example, this is a good example. We only have 10 minutes left. Oh my gosh, this is going fast. All right, you guys, I don't have the paid version of Zoom right now, so we only have 10 minutes. So let me get that quick. So, oh, good. Bardau said that preposition for your example would actually be during, but that's a really good time example with a preposition. Okay, thank you guys for those great examples. We got to move on because we only have 8 minutes. Conjunction. A conjunction is a word that connects the sentences, or sometimes we say clauses like but, and, or. So let's look at our example sentence. I usually use an umbrella and sunscreen at the beach. So now we made our sentence longer by adding a conjunction that connected umbrella and sunscreen. And the last one that you guys said you didn't know that much about, interjection. That's a word or phrase that shows emotion, like yay, whoa, cowabunga. So my example here, dang, it's hotter than Hades out here. I could really use an umbrella. So dang is the interjection. It's hotter than Hades out here. Hades is hell. And that is an idiom for it's really hot. It's hotter than Hades. Whew, I could really use an umbrella. Sorry, I'm going to speed it up now because we're running out of time. So in a partner activity, I'm actually going to put you guys in a breakout rooms. I want you to identify each part of speech in this example. Oh, wow, that delicious fluffy cake disappeared quickly because of the hungry children waiting eagerly around the table. So I've got to quickly put you guys into breakout rooms. How many people do we have? Let's see. And you guys can go into a breakout room and discuss with your partner or group, what do you think the parts of speech of this sentence are? Oops. Okay. Oh my God, the screen in my class, it just turned off. Hey guys, can you hear me? Hey guys, I hope you can hear me. So I am going to let you guys work on this, but the meeting's going to end and I want you to rejoin the meeting at 8:30. So the meeting is going to end because we ran out of time. So I want you to rejoin the meeting at 8:30. So I'm going to type that up here. Rejoin the Zoom at 8:30. And then we'll go over the answers.